Welcoming to the show, one of the newest members of the Hall of Fame class of the Boston Red Sox 2024. It is none other than the closer, Jonathan Papelbon, Nixon contributor as well. Pap, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm ready to come up there. Decided sticking a steak in my hand the other day. I'm doing pretty good. Um, I just, for me, like getting up to Boston during the summer and coming and seeing y'all guys. I mean, I think that's like, it's been like a new journey for me and doing this Nesson deal, man. But I'm excited, and I never thought I would be doing this, but man, it's fun and I enjoy it.
We enjoy having you. It's been a lot of fun. No rain delays yet this year either. Knock on wood. We'll keep that going. Listen, you, Dustin, Pedroia, Trot, Nixon, a pretty cool class. Like three guys who brought it, who brought the energy, who posted. What's this mean? What does this honor? You've got, look behind you. You got Terminators and trophies and dishes and plaques. What does the Red Sox Hall of Fame mean to you?
Yeah, all these trophies and everything that I've accomplished throughout my career, they're all great. Like, don't get me wrong, and I value them immensely. But to me, going into the Hall of Fame with these two types of players, um, it just feels right. I think that Joe and then the guys who all voted on it, they did a perfect job with putting me in with these guys. Or if they knew, I didn't know, but I viewed myself as an everyday player. You and Alex know that I went back and forth with Theo and Tito about being a starter the first couple of years, and um, I wanted to impact the game in every game that I could. And these two guys that I'm going with, man, I don't think there was a where these two guys came in after a game and the clubhouse, clubbies weren't like, oh man, we got to watch Trot's jersey again, or they came in with a dirty uniform every game, and I valued that, and coming up and then seeing Trot, I'll never forget my first spring training game with him. Missing the bus and making them come and pick me up, and like they didn't even give me a seat the whole way there, and that was like their way of like of accepting me, and I think on that trip it was like me, Doug Mirabelli, Kevin Millar, Trot Nixon, and so these are like all the first big leaguers that I met, and I was like, oh man, these are my kind of guys. So and needless to say, Dustin, we get drafted together and um, grew up together. Our wives are best friends still. Our kids grew up together. My kids yell at his kids on the stupid Xbox, whatever game they play, all night long. So we're family, and it's like that's the most important thing to me, like of who I'm going in with, and the fact that I'm going in with these guys and all the great ones before me. Like it really, I hadn't thought about it a whole lot until now, and man, it's something I cherish big time.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the whole thing about missing the bus, which I had never heard before, and would love to. I mean, my goodness, you missed the bus on your first opportunity to pitch in a big league spring training game?
You remember the stadiums back then were different. They were down the road from each other, about 3 miles.
Sure.
So I'm spot starting in a big league spring training game, in '05 or something like that. Yeah, '04, '05, and of course I'm at the minor league complex thinking the big league bus is going to come pick up, and little did I know, like we're 30, made the whole, I made the whole entire bus late, and I knew that day that either I was going to be accepted or rejected. And I went out there, and I think I had to drill. Trot got hit. Millar got hit. A bunch of guys were getting hit. So I had to go out there and drill somebody.
Right.
And there was no way I was not getting back on that bus without drilling somebody. So the respect, I think, came pretty quick with me and those guys.
Yeah, I firmly believe that even though you were starting in that game and at the beginning of your big league career, like you knew how to make a closer's entrance right out of the chute, right? Like you were able to make that kind of resonant impact. I actually want to like build on that by asking about your big league debut. Like, this was Hurricane Pap's introduction to the major league scene. You came to the Red Sox, you made your big league debut under kind of the most chaotic circumstances of just about any major league debut I've ever seen. You had Manny kind of trying to negotiate his way out of Boston at the trade deadline. It was trade deadline day, so you're like pitching through this moment in time. There's chaos just happening all around. Like, have you ever like stepped back to appreciate what on earth was going on that day of your big league debut, when you, by the way, were striking out everyone, throwing nothing but fastballs?
Yeah, I do. I do now more, Alex. You know, during the time I didn't, but I do now. And you know, when you make a debut, man, all you're trying to do is just, you know, just a one piece and just come up, do your job, and that's it. Well, I think Matt Clement got hit in the head, and I was spot started the rest of his games that year. I think he came back in the playoffs in 05 when the White Sox won. They kicked our ass. But, you know, I think it really was a great thing for me because everybody was worried about Manny. And I just kind of came in and quietly out of nowhere, just, you know, here's this new kid. But for me, coming up, I was, you know, the only kind of young pitcher on that staff. So I think Manny Del Carmen came shortly after me, but I was like, you know, the first one of Theo's guys to get to the big leagues and stay. I think Abe Alvarez was the first one, but I think it was just like one or two starts.
One game, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So I felt a huge sense of like, I'm one of Theo's guys. I want to make sure that I want to prove that he was right. I want to make sure that I'm the right fit in this ball club. So, you know, coming from the South, man, I didn't know about the Red Sox, man. I knew about the Red Sox-Yankees rivalry, but kind of that was about it. And, man, as soon as I got drafted, boy, was I in for a surprise. And I didn't realize the whole Red Sox nation, so to speak. Man, I just took to it, and I think the culture and everything just was me in a nutshell.
Well, that was the first. I mean, that was the perfect first game to be indoctrinated. And first of all, you were John Papelbon still, John the starter, right? You hadn't become Jonathan Papelbon or Cinco Ocho yet. And Manny doesn't play in the game, right? The deadline is 4:00. I think it's a 1:30 game.
Right,
so Manny,
that's right.
at 4:05 p.m., comes out for a pinch hit appearance. Crowd goes nuts. He walks it off. Eric Fried was the sideline reporter. Manny puts his arm around him and goes, "That's just Manny being Manny." I mean, you were in the height of Red Sox madness at that point.
Yeah. I mean, and at the same time, though, I was almost like, man, this is where I belong. Like, this is my kind of way. This is how, you know, this is the big leagues, man. And for me, I think a lot of their culture and the way that what Kevin Millar, what Curt Schilling, Pedro Martinez, all these guys before me, those are the guys in the 04 team is really what I'm talking about, are the ones that set this culture of what we have today, where the fans show up today. And like, they don't realize where it came from. So a lot of fans that show up today, it came from the 04 team, and the culture that we have today is from them. And I was so like happy to be able to be a part of that.